Y'all, Foster Gamer, Foster Gamer. We in here. Got my four loco. For the most part, all I know is that some dude's terminally ill in this game. I guess we're helping him out. That's about it. But yeah, since it was Vegas, I had to bring the drinks through. So, without further ado,
Thank you for meeting with me. If this is your first visit to the Bellflower Casino Resort, I hope you're finding it a pleasant one. I've owned this place for over 30 years. Running the Bellflower has been my life's work. A life which is almost over. I have terminal cancer, and I've been fighting it for years, but my time is coming to an end. I've already come to terms with my condition, but it leaves me with a problem. I never found time to start a family, and I don't have any close friends. This hotel is all I have to leave to this world. It's my legacy, but I have no one to carry on that legacy once I'm gone. I need you to help me decide on the best person to inherit the Bellflower. I've made a list of 4 candidates, each of whom has a strong connection to this hotel. Unfortunately, I don't know any of them very well. I've invited them all here for the weekend under the guise that you want to do an interview with them for a book that you're writing about the hotel. Now, they're being paid a healthy stipend for their time, so you'll likely find them willing to answer any questions you may have. I want you to learn everything you can about them and report back to me if you discover anything relevant. Their names are Ashley, Mallory, Sarah, and the last one is a couple of newlyweds named Todd and Becca.
so I guess we're going to just get a brief summary of who each of these people are.
Ashley is a magician. She's been holding her magic show here at the Bellflower since we added a theater during our last renovation. She's been here longer than any employee, and she's as financially tied to this place as anybody, aside from myself. She's a private person, so I don't know much about her personal life. Sarah is the daughter of the Goodley family. She's been staying here with her parents on family vacations for years. That family is so wholesome that they make the Brady Bunch seem edgy.
The
They're a
fuck?
welcome breath of fresh air here in Las Vegas, and I love the idea of someone with very strong moral values like Sarah taking over the hotel. Mallory is the unluckiest person I've ever met. She's also one of the nicest. I've never seen so much tragedy befall such an undeserving person. I unfairly gave her a hard time when we first met, but we get along well now. I gave her a complimentary stay here at the hotel to apologize, and she wouldn't stop talking about how much she loved it here. I think she might even like my hotel more than I do. Like the others on my list, I don't know very much about her.
So far, it seems like Mallory and Magician Girl actually care a lot about this place.
I barely know anything about those two. Their names are Becca and Todd. I met them today when they were checking in. They came to Las Vegas to get married, and this trip is also doubling as their honeymoon.
Met them today.
I know it must seem odd to consider leaving my estate to a couple I barely know, but honestly, I barely know any of the people I'm considering. I figure that if they're staying here for their wedding and their honeymoon, then they're going to have a very strong emotional connection to the Bellflower Hotel. Plus, it almost seems like fate that they happened to check in today while I'm trying to make this decision. I'm counting on you to ascertain whether or not they're good people worthy of consideration as heirs.
Bro, you could have at least did like some background checks or something, bro. He was like, yeah, I just happened to see them walking by, and I just decided like instantly that that was they were the ones. I knew, I knew from, I knew from like the moment I seen them. Let's see. So we got Ashley, Mallory. Okay, she gonna be. Yeah, I guarantee you, she gonna be the funny one. I'm already like, yo, whatever with these two. She gonna probably low key be aggressive. Well, actually, no. She gonna probably be like, she gonna be low key aggressive as shit. She just gonna be like regular energy. I don't like none of them. Yo, why bro look like every like father's worst nightmare for their daughter type shit? Oh my god. Alright, let's see what's up here.
I'm Ashley. I live here in Las Vegas. I spend most of my time practicing magic, and I am single. What else do you want to know?
I just seem like she's getting more aggressive.
I've been performing my magic act here since the last time it was renovated. Huh. Never heard of the place before that. I like it here. I like Mr. Davenport, too. He's very hands off. I appreciate the fact that he doesn't try to give me input about my show. Oh, it's understandable if you didn't know that I had my own magic act. I'm not on any of the posters. I used to be, but I learned early on that audiences expect a magician to be male. So I hired a male presenting actor as the magician. I started working as the assistant. But ticket sales, foomp, shot way up. I haven't really talked to him that much. We talked a little bit when this place was being renovated. My magic act was becoming popular, and I was looking for a place to take up residency, and he was looking for an act to host in his arena. It worked out great. We've really only spoken a few times since then, usually about business. I guess you could say he's one of my best friends.
We got no viewers at the moment, so I'm gonna keep the show running. I guess we'll stick with her for a little bit. Kind of interested in all of them, though. So I got like a little bit of background on her, so we'll go to her next.
What is there to say? I guess I'm a little bit down on my luck right now between jobs. I had 2 job interviews earlier this week, and I'm hoping to have more soon. I don't like to admit this usually, but it might be important for your book. Um, I'm actually homeless currently. It might surprise you that I actually came from a fairly wealthy family. My dad was some sort of hotshot furniture salesman, and my mom was a cable TV installer. We actually owned our own house. It was double wide. But yeah, I guess I always thought I'd be a big success like my parents, and I guess it's just all right that they're not around anymore so that they don't have to see what my life has turned into. You know, I didn't exactly meet their high expectations.
I can kind of relate to that, bro. I just like she just seems so aggressive, guy. And I don't mean like, I mean like low key, like she like low key just. Okay, so she's the one who apparently loves the hotel more than anybody, right?
I used to work at the Bellflower as a professional gambler. That's actually how I met Mr. Davenport. His security guards thought that I was cheating, actually, so they brought me in for hours and hours of questioning. Thankfully, they looked through the security footage and saw that I was not cheating. They could have just kicked me out, but Mr. Davenport was so kind, and he actually put me in a room for a full week to make up for the trouble that had been caused. This is the nicest hotel I've ever been in. Oh, that was the wildest thing. I actually ended up here in Vegas by accident, but while I was here, I figured I might as well try gambling. It turned out I was extremely bad at it, though, and I actually caught the eye of a wealthy man who asked me to be a professional gambler for him. So he would give me money to play craps, and then he would bet on me losing. And we actually made a great team, and he made a ton of money off me. But the casinos started noticing what was happening, and they started kicking us out. Mr. Davenport was the only one who was really nice about it, though.
You know how bad you gotta be at gambling that somebody makes money off of you gambling? Oh my goodness. Alright, let's see what's up with homegirl here, guy.
I'm Alice Goodley.
I'm Walter, and this is Sarah.
It's so nice to meet you.
We're from Utah.
Of course y'all from Utah. Not like I ain't been in Utah before, not like I ain't do like my job course, my little job court thing there. I fact you is kind of Utah-ish, huh? I don't mean that in a bad way to the folks in Utah. Nice people, nice folks. Even with the whole even the whole Mormon thing was, I didn't like see none of like the bad of it, I guess, or the good of it. Kind of indifferent. But anyway,
We are very lucky to live there. Our neighborhood is just dandy. But then again, I guess everybody says that about their hometowns.
We have friendly neighbors, a brand new school, and the best darn volunteer fire department you could ask for.
Well, it's not perfect, though. Crime has been on the rise lately.
Oh, that's true. Last Halloween, 2 houses got toilet papered.
Yeah, a bunch of us pitched in, and we got those houses cleaned up by noon. Still, it was kind of disappointing to know that something like that could happen only a few blocks away.
Cleaning up all that toilet paper was really fun, though.
That's our Sarah, always looking on the bright side of any situation.
I was not paying attention to none of that. Volunteer fire department.
We love this hotel. We come here every year on vacation.
We take a lot of family vacations together. The only thing better than seeing the world is seeing the world together.
This is my favorite vacation we take. I love coming here to Vegas.
That is true. It's all she talks about for months leading up to the trip.
I do get pretty excited about our vacation time.
Is my shit freezing? On YouTube real quick, make sure my shit ain't freezing. Shit look like it's freezing, bro. Oh, looks good. All right, just in case if y'all said anything, I probably didn't see it because I just quickly wanted to check to make sure my video wasn't freezing. Yeah. So where am I at with everybody? Got Vegas by accident. Yeah, it's cool. All right, so one more for her, I guess. I guess we'll do family
I
vacations.
take 2 weeks vacation from my dental practice each year so we can go on a family trip.
It's safe to say our Las Vegas trips are our favorite. This is our third year in a row coming here.
Next year, I'll be old enough to go to the casino floor.
Sarah won't be 21 until next month.
I guess Las Vegas. I just want like a little bit of
A
background.
few years ago, we heard that Las Vegas had undergone some changes and was very family friendly now. Once we heard that, we just had to come check it out.
And we were not disappointed. There's a lot more to do here than just gambling and attending wild rock concerts. There's an aquarium, a history museum, and gondola rides.
We even found a soup kitchen that lets us volunteer every time we come here.
We do participate in some of the wilder activities too. Last year, we toured the Pinball Hall of Fame. I figured we are in Vegas after all, we might as well get a little crazy while we're here.
I ain't gonna lie, that it's boring, but at the same time, I'm not like completely hating. I like the pinball game on my computer. All right, so tell me about you two here.
My name is Becca.
And I am Todd.
We're from New York City.
So now we get New York City. So now we get New York and we get Utah. Yeah, I've been in New York too. I went to Job Corps there as well. Oh my goodness. Matter of fact, this dude do look like my homie Sergio, yo. Yo, Sergio, if you remember Clearfield Job Corps, bro, the freestyles and shit, bro. Yo, hit me up, bro. Cause I've been doing my shit with this YouTube and this content creation shit. Like, oh yeah, same with on the homie Trey. I see how they doing. And my homie Jesse. I got a lot of people that are like, it's like, cause for me it's like I got family. Then we got like the bros and sisters. Then we got friends and acquaintances. So like homies like Devon and them, they like they're family. Like Johnny, that's family. Like those are family. Then you got, you know, I've been drinking too much. Yeah, I'm getting tipsy out this bowl.
This is where Todd said we had to stay when we came to Vegas.
Yeah, we're in town for our wedding.
We actually ran into the owner of the hotel while we were checking in, and he overheard us saying we were getting married, so he upgraded us to a big suite,
Yeah.
which was such a nice surprise.
And he was even more surprised when he asked if we wanted to be interviewed for your book. I mean, this is certainly turning out to be a memorable trip.
I would hope it'd already be memorable, what with our wedding and all.
Oh, of course. That was a poor choice of words on my part.
Okay. So to be honest, y'all all are fucked up. I so far only trust the magician lady, and she looks the most angry with me out of all of them. Oh, I guess we'll do Vegas.
A Las Vegas wedding was her idea. I told her we could get married anywhere that she wanted.
Vegas seemed perfect. It's affordable and it can double as a honeymoon.
Oh, plus it has casinos. She loves those.
Oh, and it has strip clubs. Todd loves those. He actually made a list of all the clubs he wants to see before we leave.
It was just a list of places. There's one club on the list, but it's places that I want to see from the outside.
Todd grew up in a very religious household, so he can be a little embarrassed about these things. It's okay, sweetie. I've seen your list. It's perfectly normal for a man to want to see naked ladies.
Okay, not the way I was going. I thought she was going. You know what? I guess there's shit. I guess I jumped to conclusions too quick. Lesson learned. Y'all see that? Foster Gamer learned the lesson. I fucked up my name. Foster Gamer learned the lesson. There we go. And I agree with her. Ain't nothing wrong with me seeing some naked ladies.
I wanted to get married in a church back home, but Becca wanted to do something original. Isn't that right, dear?
Yeah, we also couldn't afford a big wedding. You know, Todd's work has been a little slow lately.
I'm an actor, and all actors have dry spells. Just part of the industry. Plus, Becca has a lot of debt, so we probably shouldn't be spending too much money right now.
Right now, he's actually playing Elmo in Times Square. He takes his
You
picture with
chose
tourists all
Vegas.
day. He's so cute in the costume.
Yeah, I'm not Elmo.
Okay. Legally, he is a generic red creature, but we all know who he's supposed to be.
Okay. I'll see where we at real quick. Okay, so I think we gotten a little bit into this soup kitchen. Where the fuck soup kitchen come from? Alright, next up.
I'm not mad about it. My act has actually gotten a lot easier since I started working as an assistant and not the magician. I'll let you in on a little secret. The assistants are actually the ones who perform all the tricks in a magic act. The magician really is just there so that people have something to keep their eyes on. They're gonna watch him, see if they can figure out the trick, see if he's doing anything sneaky. Everyone really just ignores the girls in the shiny outfits. But we're the ones making the tricks work. Now, magic is all about misdirection. The magician is the biggest misdirection of all.
At some point you can relate that to a parent, like to a two-parent household. Because it's like, yeah, the father works and all that, but the mom be holding it down. Even in a single parent household.
I don't like interacting with people unless there's a purpose. I would say I'm a people person, but I grow weary of them quickly if they overstay their welcome or talk. I prefer quiet types who show who they are by their actions. You know, a lot of people will have shallow, fake friends who will tell you all about their day, but they'll never lift a finger if you need to move or get rid of a body.
Got for
I really don't
arts.
like people like that.
Looks like my screen's back to normal. That's good. I wasn't paying attention. Wait, she said get rid of a body. We even have logs on this shit? Or is that supposed to be the thing of the game? Like, probably.
When you're part of a magic show, you spend countless hours practicing. We only perform 4 nights a week, so it would seem like it's an easy schedule, but we spend maybe another 30 hours practicing. More if you're bringing someone new into the show. It's a lot.
Because I've had a few times where my mic didn't mute. So y'all ain't catching me lacking. I burped. But yeah.
I'm not great at dating. It's probably because I really don't enjoy getting to know people. That's why I think that dinner and a movie is the perfect first date. You have just enough time to exchange facts about each other, and then the food comes and you can't talk because your mouth is full. Then you go sit in a dark movie theater, where talking is frowned on, and you watch a movie. It's great, especially if you're with one of those people who insists on talking all the time. I'm great at breakups, though. Yeah, not very good at dating. I've tried dating apps, but I haven't found any that I really like. I've never had to get rid of a body. But if I did, I wouldn't be stupid about it. You know, everybody just tries to bury the body or throw it in a river with something heavy on it, trying to keep the cops from finding it. The cops are going to find the body. But if I was going to get rid of the body, I would throw it in the river with a bungee cord harness attached to it, and then I wouldn't attach the other end to anything. So when the cops found the body, as they're going to, they wouldn't assume it was murder. They would just assume it was someone stupid who deserved to die. I mean, people win Darwin Awards every day. Why not take advantage of it?
It's a couple things wrong with that theory. Off the fact that, like, if let's say the method of murder, right? If there's any lacerations or this and that type shit, any cuts, any bruises that aren't like that don't attribute or don't like are not the causality of like the fall itself. Like in other words, it's not the effect from the fall. Yeah, like if the fall didn't cause that shit, or it doesn't look like the fall caused the shit, they're going to investigate it. Like you feel me? It's not the same thing. It don't work that way for me. Okay, so from how it seems like I'm assuming I can only ask them so many different questions, like for each person. So I just gotta ignore certain stuff, like the Darwin Awards. Ignore that. So let's go on to the next person.
Oh, I've been an orphan almost my entire life. Yeah, my parents died in a fishing accident when I was really little. The only living relative I have is my Uncle Albert, but we don't really talk at all. He's been in and out of prison my whole life. My parents used to take me fishing on the southern coast of Alabama. I don't think we were supposed to be fishing at the spot they found, but there was never anybody around to tell us to leave, so we did it anyway. It was really nice and almost like a real vacation. Anyway, we didn't have a real boat. We had just 3 of those floating pool chairs that we'd like paddle out and just sit there and fish. It was really relaxing. Anyway, one day my parents caught an undertow and the current pushed them out deep into the ocean. So luckily I managed to get to shore, but it took me a while to find anyone for help. The authorities searched and searched for them, but all they could find were their pool chairs, empty. It was really bad, but I was placed into the foster care system. Oh, he was a rich person just like you'd see in the movies. I mean, he had a 3-piece suit on with a jacket and a matching vest and everything. His car had a hood ornament on it, and he even had brown socks to match his brown shoes. I wouldn't know what to do with that kind of money. I think the first thing I might do would be to buy a monocle, though. I wasn't always homeless. Actually, when I was in Alabama, I had 3,000 square feet to myself. I felt like a wealthy land baron or something. But I didn't have a house on the land, but I did have a really nice tent at first. It was great. I lived there for a full year before I could save up for a house. Well, not a house. I actually bought an 8 foot by 10 foot shed that was fantastic. It was just as good as a house. Had a roof, 4 walls, a window, a door, everything I needed. I don't know why more people don't just live in sheds.
Oh wait, she said she was in the foster care system, right? So,
I wasn't in the foster care system for very long. When I was 9, I was placed with a foster family, but unfortunately, my foster parents died the first night that I was with them. A burglar broke in and murdered them. My foster mom was able to call the police, but by the time they arrived, they were already dead. And the police couldn't find the burglar anywhere. The prosecutor on the case assumed that I had murdered my foster parents and even accused me of killing my birth parents. So he got the judge to sign off that I was going to be tried as an adult instead of a child, even though I was only 9. Luckily, they did find the real killer, and it turns out he was just really good at hiding, and he was in a crawl space under the house. So, unfortunately, due to this legal loophole that in Alabama I was now considered legally an adult, so I was out of the foster care system and I had to find a job. So I worked in a coal mine. It wasn't the work I wanted to be doing, but it paid something. And then when I was 18, I moved out of Alabama.
but she's been capping this whole time though. She's been capping this whole time. You said you had your own spot, so what is she talking about? What is she talking about?
That was the nicest place I ever lived. Unfortunately, 2 weeks after I bought that shed, it was swallowed in a sinkhole. So there was really nothing left for me in Alabama. I decided to chase my childhood dream and move to Albuquerque.
But she's lying. Okay, because here's the thing. She said she had like a whole bunch of this land, right? And that she was living there for a little bit. So you telling me she left all that land just to go to Albuquerque? Like, fam, that's your land. Like you can't. Like, I don't even think you need to like pay like a constant thing for your land. And if you do, then the country's kind of fucked up on that. Cause ain't like a law or something. It's like you legitly pay whatever money you pay for like full land on land. Like, cause like ain't owning Lakers like I said owning Lakers ain't owning acres like different from owning houses. Old houses you pay like actually I guess your land can be repossessed. You know what? Never mind. Let's hear about this fire department shit.
Being on the volunteer fire department is considered a huge honor in our town.
There are too many volunteers every year, and they can only let in so many people, so it's very competitive.
Well, the exception is on Thanksgiving. During the parade, they make everyone in town an honorary member. It's a nice gesture, and everyone gets very excited about it.
We go all out for Thanksgiving.
We go all out for all holidays in general. You should visit on Independence Day. We have a top-notch fireworks show every year.
Oh, and don't forget about the Easter egg hunt. That's my favorite.
We all love doing charity work, but to be honest, Alice and I don't find nearly as much time as we should. Sarah, on the other hand, always finds the time.
She volunteers every week at an assisted living facility, a food bank, and an animal shelter. I wish I had her youthful energy.
Thank you. They're just being modest. They both do plenty.
When I was younger, I did what I could. Now all I really do is make the occasional donation.
What about when we went to the beach last summer?
That's true. We spent the day cleaning the beach, and we had a contest among ourselves to see who could collect the most trash bags worth of litter.
Daddy won by a full bag.
It doesn't matter who fills the most bags. What matters is doing our part for the environment.
Every piece of litter you pick up off the beach is one less piece that'll make it into the ocean. That's what Daddy always says.
Yeah, I know that sounds probably boring as shit to y'all, but peep game. Like, the environment is actually pretty important, bro. They're saying that we're like a few years from that shit being irreversible, and then future generations is fucked. So future generations, if you see this and y'all fucked, well, yeah, y'all fucked. I pray for y'all. But next up, Dennis.
My father
Wait,
and
assisted
grandfather
living?
were both dentists. All the men in my family were. Well, except for my brother Stephen. It's a family tradition.
Stephen is quite the rebel. He lives by his own rules.
He's a pediatrician in Salt Lake City. That's clear across the state from us.
He only comes to visit a few times a year, usually on holidays.
We do drive up to Salt Lake City once in a while. My friend Linda lives there too, so we get to visit her and Stephen in one trip.
No, we're getting somewhere. Why seem like that shit is so much? I feel like they're capping so much here. Well, I feel like I've met this girl before. Or this woman in this case. But yeah, well, I feel like I met her before. She was in another FMV. Matter of fact, she probably was too. That's probably why I remember them. Matter of fact, her too. I just don't know where it's from. Maybe even her too. Matter of fact, even you. Who is this guy? This is he been in a different shit. But anyway. New York City.
Oh, I mean, I love New York. We have the best sports teams, the best nightclubs, the best restaurants. It's such an incredible place to live.
Even if I didn't have to live there for work, I don't think I could ever move.
Yeah, I mean, there are just so many things you can only get in New York you can't get anywhere else. You should really visit if you haven't been before.
There's this Brony convention Todd goes to every year.
Sure,
I mean,
Brony.
even if we moved, he'd have to go back every year. No way he could miss it. It's all he talks about for a month leading up to it.
Well, I kind of don't want to know what that is. What's up with the debt though?
Yeah, I took out a lot of student loans. I would have been more than happy going to an affordable law school, but Daddy insisted I go to Harvard if I wanted to work at the family firm. So I will probably be paying that off for years. I don't know why Todd puts up with me and all my baggage.
Down.
I don't think she's in. I don't think she's in debt. Calling it now. This man Todd probably does his trash ass acting career. Or you know what? They're probably just trying to. Yeah, what is up with this family farm shit?
Kennedy, Seymour, and Cartwright. Michael Kennedy's my father. Barbara Cartwright is my mother. It's not the biggest firm in New York, but we do all right. I think street performer is more of an appropriate term. He's never done any sort of stage acting.
But I do have some exciting things lined up,
mhm.
actually. I'm going to be in an upcoming film in New York.
It's a role in an unpaid student film, but it's a great start.
It's a very promising student film. It's going to be seen by a lot of people, and the exposure is worth more than the money, believe me.
It's a film about campus safety. They say that new students are going to see it for years to come. I just wish Todd had booked a speaking part. He has the talent.
Oh, well, thank you, dear. Thank you.
This man. This man. This man is in this one of those student prevention and safety videos, guy. Shit.
Oh, I'm not a student. I just responded to an ad on the internet.
He actually dropped out of high school.
I wanted to focus on my career. Yeah, I was actually working for a cell phone company at the time, and it was a great job. I was making good money, and I wanted to move up, but they downsized, and a lot of us lost our jobs.
They laid off all the sign spinners at once, which was such a shame because Todd was so talented at it.
Oh,
We actually met when he was sign spinning on the corner at my apartment. He caught my eye right away. Todd's family is very religious, very devout.
Well, I'm not as devout as the rest of them.
Oh, no, you're just being modest. He's the only boyfriend I've ever had who insisted on keeping his virginity until we get married. I mean, how impressive is that?
No comment.
So I just moved out of my parents' house into my parents' apartment building, and I didn't really know my way around the area. So I was running late for a meeting, and when I went outside, I saw Todd spinning his little arrow sign on the corner. So I went up to him and asked for directions, and instead of just telling me where to go, he spun his sign all impressively and pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
That was like the cutest thing.
Oh, well. She came back after a meeting and she asked for my number, and we went on our first date the next day. And I knew she was the one after our first date.
Mm. I knew it after the third.
Oh, did you?
Oh wow. Shout out to Gaming with Whiskey. She's in the live chat. And yes, Whiskey, I got a 4 local on me. And I think this is like one of the few live streams you actually get to catch me on, huh? But yeah, how you doing? But yeah, this game's so far, I don't know what to expect from it. I'm just like rolling with the flow here. Alright, let's see here. I guess maybe one more from them, and then I'll go to the next one again.
My parents own a small apartment building on the Upper East Side. They let me live there rent free. I just pay for utilities. Todd's gonna move in with me once we're married. Apricot's gonna have to move out, but it's totally gonna be worth it.
I usually play these kind of games by share playing with someone in the chat with me. It's really fun that way. I do too. I ain't have like nobody for this go around. Plus, I still had like stuff I had to work out as far as on my OBS goes. So I was just like, okay, let me just chill out and just, I guess, vibe with people.
My puppy, her name's Apricot. Unfortunately, Todd is severely allergic to dogs, so she can't be living with us. But I'm sure it won't be hard to find someone who wants to adopt an adorable little teacup Pomeranian. I'll miss her though.
Oh, what now? Alright, next, guess third date?
We streamed The Notebook at my place. All my past boyfriends had refused to watch it with me. Todd not only agreed, but he cried multiple times while watching it. I knew right then if he ever proposed to me, I'd have to say yes.
Yo, is it really gonna be that foul? Is it really about to be that foul right now? Nah, we'll save it. We'll save it. Alright, so let's see here. Yo, whiskey, chill. Yeah, cause whiskey know how I'm going about with that. Yo, she funny bad. I guess we'll do dating apps next.
I don't particularly like any of the dating apps out there right now. They're all designed to let you chat with the person before you meet them. If you chat with the person before you meet them, then you find out how horrible they are and you don't want to meet them. Then you don't even get the social rewards of having gone on a date. You know what I want? I want a dating app where you don't ever have to go on a date. Where when you match with a likely candidate, the app takes the photos that you've each submitted and places them in a likely dating scenario. Then it returns the photo to you. You can put that photo on your social media platforms, and it looks like you've been on a date. And you've never had to go on a date. Everybody wins.
Okay.
The problem most people make when they're breaking up with someone is that they try to be too nice. And that's very selfish. Not the good kind of selfishness either. When you're too nice with someone and you're breaking up with them, it makes them sad. It makes them wish that you weren't leaving. It makes them think that maybe they should stay with you. When you're breaking up with someone, it is the one time of your life that you should be a complete asshole so that they actually feel relieved. They feel like a burden has been lifted.
What?
Yeah. You should always be an asshole when you're breaking up with someone. That's why I'm very good at it.
Oh, well, now. Well, now. I guess magician.
Oh, we promote it like it's his show, but he's essentially worthless. He doesn't do much of anything. I've actually replaced the actor that's played the magician 3 times. Audiences never noticed. They're fine as long as there's someone on stage who looks like they expect a magician to look. Usually with a goatee. For some reason, a goatee is mandatory.
Okay, so my detective instinct's kicking in. She dates the magicians. and then she broke up with them. So she's dated 3 of the magicians.
Everyone talks about selfishness like it's some sort of sin. Selfishness is necessary. Everyone wants good paying jobs. Want them to be in our country and not another country. That's selfish. Everyone wants those good paying jobs to be in our city, not another city. That's selfish. I want those good paying jobs to be mine, not someone else's. That's selfish. Selfishness is necessary for us to survive.
I swear, Restream needs a better app. Well, not a better app, but they need like their own app or something. So that I can at least see the. Have you played the other games similar to this? Actually, yes, I have. I played the Dr. Decker Shape-Shifting Detective. I've played what was it, like Ghost Book or some shit like that. I played a couple. If I remember right, this is Wells Interactive. Most of their FMVs I actually finished, so I got a good track record with them. Yeah, I play these from time to time. Let's see. Guess now we'll go with job interviews.
My first job interview was for a job selling jewelry. I didn't have any experience, so they said they couldn't hire me. My second job interview was at an adult video store. They needed someone to clean up those video booths after customers used them. I also didn't have any experience with this, but I really wanted the job, so I lied and said that I'd been doing it for 15 years already in 3 different cities. I thought for sure they were going to hire me, but for some reason they didn't. I guess that was karma telling me that I shouldn't have lied. Well, I didn't mean to end up here, but I was on a bus on my way to Denver, and the bus stopped here, and I got off to use the bathroom, but I guess I took too long because when I came back out, the bus was gone, and it also had my luggage on it, so when I got here, all I had was the clothes on my back. But I'm glad it happened because I had a really good time here.
Real Whiskey, they always do look like they have some issues.
My Uncle Albert? Oh, he goes back to prison all the time. He's actually serving a life sentence, but he keeps escaping. I don't know how he keeps getting out, but the guards catch him and put him right back in.
El Chapo
Albert
gotta be
is
his
from the dark side of
homie.
our family. We didn't like to associate with them very much growing up.
Dark side of family, like that must be like El Chapo and all them. Pablo Escobar.
We were always a little bit ashamed to be related to Albert's side of the family, to be honest. I mean, I know that I'm not some great success or anything like that, but at least I'm trying to better myself. Albert's mom was a lawyer, and his dad was a member of Congress for over a decade. It's like they didn't even try to have honest jobs.
Wait, hold on, what? Oh, shit. Funny bad. They funny, yo, she funny bad for that. Alright, let's see what's up with the. Let's see what's up with that.
Our trips to Salt Lake City are one of the few things we have trouble agreeing on. There's just so much to do, and everybody wants to do something different.
I like to go to the zoo, Sarah likes the planetarium, and Walter likes the Natural History Museum.
We started playing a board game right before our trip. The winner gets to pick where we go.
Sarah usually wins, but she's very gracious when she does. Last time she won, she picked the zoo to make Alice happy.
I won twice in a row. I would have felt selfish if I picked the planetarium both times. Plus, we hadn't gone to the zoo in forever. It wouldn't have been fair.
Isn't she just the best?
Two shoes having ass. But yeah, whiskey. So what she said was her uncle family, whatever, they were full of like politicians and all that worked in Congress. And then she said, yo, they wasn't even trying to hide that they had like that they didn't have an honest job. Cause you know politicians are corrupt. Like that was a joke she was making. It's like, oh shit. What we? Okay, let's see what's up with them.
Linda was my best friend back in high school. She was a bit of a troublemaker back then. To be honest, I was a bit of a rascal myself.
It's true. Alice and Linda were big mischief makers. Now, it may seem hard to believe now, but Alice was quite the prankster in her teenage years.
How come I've never heard about this before?
Well, I am not very proud of some of the things I did, so I don't talk about them much.
Can you tell me about one of them? Please.
Okay. Every April Fool's Day, Linda and I would send someone a pizza they didn't order as a prank. We paid cash, so it couldn't be traced back to us. And we'd
Wait,
also
what?
tip the driver so they wouldn't get stiffed in the gratuity.
I hope none of those people will
Oh,
try to lose weight. That could knock someone off their diet.
We were young and reckless. We didn't think about the consequences back then.
I understand. I certainly got into my fair share of trouble when I was younger.
Yeah, so whiskey. This is supposed to be the Goody Two Shoes family. They're like a new married couple. He's a guy that's trying to get like somebody to inherit his hotel, and she's a magician, and she's just some random person that stayed at Dude's spot. That's pretty much the gist of what I got from all this. She seems to be capping about a lot of stuff. She's just pissed off all the time. I don't know what's going on with these two. And Goody Two Shoes family.
You'd think the hunt was just about the kids, but it's just as much fun for us grown-ups, too. The night before the hunt, all the adults get together and spend a few hours hiding the eggs. The next day, all the kids spend a few hours looking for them. It's like the adults get to play, too.
Sarah takes hiding Easter eggs very seriously. Some of the places she finds to hide them are downright diabolical.
Well, I remember what it was like hunting for eggs as a kid. The best feeling was when you'd find an egg in a hard-to-find spot. If someone doesn't hide them in places like that, then the kids won't get a chance to feel like that.
Sarah never does anything without giving it her best effort. You should hear her music lessons.
Nah, but here's the thing though. I'm thinking like she's not. I'm thinking she low key like. Yeah. See this right here? Sarah's share of trouble. I feel like she low key on some shit, cause they're from Utah, and I used to go to Utah for school. Well, for trade school. So I kind of know how it is over there. Them folks is some meth users, yo. Like, I lie to you not. Them folks is some meth users. It's some other shit in the West, yo. Like, them folks is crazy.
I've caused as much trouble as anyone. I was once suspended from school for smoking. Another time I got detention for a whole week for cutting class. I'm no angel.
All right, I think next we're gonna go to them, the married couple. All right, shit about to get. Sometimes we shit about to get real with this. uh, hold on, I'll be back. See,
Oh, it's not that big of a deal.
It's kind of a big deal. I've had to go over a year without it.
Oh,
So
we've been together for 2 years.
wait, what?
I checked someone off my list last year. We promised we wouldn't have to tell each other that. The baseball player. You know that list every couple makes of people they're allowed to sleep with if they ever get the chance to without it being considered cheating.
Yeah, which isn't really fair because I don't sleep with anyone and she knows that. So.
Well, I've been trying to change that for the past 2 years.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get into heaven, so.
Really? Well, I've been trying to get him into heaven for the last 2 years with no luck.
Well, aren't you supposed to
Holy shit!
famous people on your list who you don't know?
Well, I didn't know him when I made the list. I just so happened to meet him a year later.
Oh, convenient.
Besides, Todd put my sister on his list.
That was meant as a compliment alone, okay?
How's
She
that
knows
meant
I
as a
want
compliment
something
alone?
besides backup.
Yeah, my sister did not take it as a compliment. She's still kind of mad about it.
Said or fight a way out of a wet paper bag. Facts, yo. You talking about the goodly, right? Like, oh my goodness, this is only gonna get worse.
Oh, there were a lot of them. Am I right?
They were all so full of themselves. Like, they were either rich or famous, or both rich and famous. The worst combination. That doesn't impress me.
They weren't as great as they sound, okay?
No, some were actually very cool. But I don't really talk to them anymore. Todd gets a little jealous when I do. But Todd hangs out with
That's
all
what
his
you do.
ex-girlfriends, except Lily, of course. But, I'm not really worried about them. If he's not sleeping with me, he's definitely not sleeping with them. So.
This is only getting worse and worse as I play this game. Oh my goodness. What's this Brody convention, yo?
It's a convention for My Little Pony fans.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds.
I can't with these folks. I was so wrong, yo. This is dang is the funniest in this shit so far. Oh my goodness.
I mean, lots of adults go. Actually, it's almost entirely adults who go. Yeah, I think the TV show is super sweet, but I've only been with Todd once. They don't really like girls going. I think it kind of messes with the whole bro part of brony.
It definitely is. Yo, whiskey, you was not lying.
You know, my parents didn't get married until years after they'd already been legal partners. At that point, my mom had already a long list of clients, a really great reputation, so that's why she kept her own last name.
Yeah, plus, they would have had to change the name of the law firm. I mean, they had to print new business cards, order new signs. It would have been a big hassle, right?
That's why I'm keeping my last name. So if everything goes according to plan right before my dad retires, I will get made partner at the firm. That way there will still be a Kennedy in the name. Also, Becca Boner just doesn't really have a great ring to it for a lawyer.
Becker Boner. Facts though, when people say it's not as bad as it sounds, what they really mean is it's worse. Let's. Oh wait, we ain't talked to her yet, right?
I didn't have much money saved up, so I had to hop onto a train like they do in the movies. Only it wasn't exactly like how they do it in the movies because there were no big empty cars with those open sides that you could just hop right onto. The best I could find was a small platform that stuck out from the train a couple of inches. I was able to put my feet on that, and then there was a handle that I could cling to. I figured that I could just stay like that for an hour and then I'd be across state lines, but unfortunately, the train picked up a lot of speed and I was stuck clinging onto the train up until Detroit.
Okay. Um, said Becker Boner, yeah. So was the girl's name Marlene over?
Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to
Oh
move
my
to a big
goodness.
city. You know, one of those places that musicians write songs about? A place like Albuquerque. When I finally moved to Albuquerque, it exceeded my expectations. All the glitz, all the glamour, it was incredible. And the best part was the people were really nice. It was great. I'd probably still be there today if it weren't for the puppy incident.
What did you do to the dog? What did she do to the dog?
A little boy had lost his dog, and the entire community banded together to try to find it. Every business had some sort of poster in the window asking for people to find the dog, and I actually came across the dog, but unfortunately it was already dead, so I buried it. And then I wanted to do that thing that they do in TV shows where you replace one dead animal with a new alive animal that looks the same. So I went to every pet store in town until I found a dog that looked like the dog that I had buried that had died. I brought it to the little boy's family and they seemed so happy. It was great until about 2 weeks after that when I found out the truth. The little boy and his family weren't looking for a lost pet. Unfortunately, they were looking for a dog that had bitten the little boy. They wanted the dog to see if the dog had rabies. Since I didn't bring the correct dog back, they couldn't test the dog, and it turns out the dog that bit the little boy did have rabies. That's why he died. The story doesn't have a happy ending for the little boy, and I couldn't face the townspeople anymore, so I had to move out of Albuquerque.
Damn. Let's see what we got here. Denver.
Well, I wasn't in Denver proper, but I was about half an hour away at this ski resort very close by. Anyway, I worked at the ski resort first as a ticket salesperson, but then I studied and worked really hard to become a ski instructor. But sadly, like all my jobs, it didn't last. The first time I took a group out to go skiing, I was supposed to bring them to an intermediate level hill, but unfortunately I read the color coding wrong and I brought them to an advanced hill. There's a huge difference
Advanced
between
hill.
an intermediate hill and an advanced hill. I, of course, lost my job. Oh, I've done it all. I've delivered pizzas, I had an ice cream truck, I worked in a pet shop, I even worked on a cruise ship. I've had some truly wonderful jobs, but sadly nothing ever worked out.
Pretty much, yeah. Wait, ice cream truck. Whiskey, this is just getting worse. This is just getting worse. Well, cause each like every place she's going or each job she has, like it's like leading to somebody's death. This is just getting worse. What do I do? Let's see what's up with this ice cream truck.
It was a dream of mine for a really long time to have my own ice cream truck. I love the idea of having my own business, being an entrepreneur, and selling wonderful sweet treats to
Oh,
people over jolly music. Anyway, it took a really long time, but eventually I did buy my own ice cream truck. Well, it wasn't actually an ice cream truck, it was an El Camino, and it had 2 freezers full of ice cream in the back. So anytime I wanted to sell ice cream, I'd just have to park and get out and go around back. It was great, and I'd still be doing it if I hadn't lost my license.
wait, why did you lose your license?
I wasn't just selling ice cream out of my El Camino, I was also living in it. The ice cream chests in the back were plugged into the cigarette lighter inverter, so the engine had to be running at all times so that the ice cream wouldn't melt. This made it really hard to sleep. Anyway, one night I had a few drinks and I was trying to sleep, and of course the engine was still running so that the ice cream wouldn't melt, and a policeman came over to see what was happening. I didn't know this, but you can actually get a DUI if you're drinking while your engine's on, even if you aren't moving, so I ended up being
Facts.
sent to prison.
Damn. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. She just had to go to prison. Like,
I actually got really lucky with my prison sentence. I was sentenced to 3 months in prison, but they let me out after 2. Also, I was sent in right before Christmas, which was great because on Christmas Day, they gave everybody a delicious cinnamon bun. It was the best cinnamon bun I've ever had. I guess sometimes Lady Luck is on my side.
okay, pizza delivery.
I worked at a really fancy pizza place that had a big dining room and everything. It was great. Anyway, the owner, my boss, was trying to sell it, so the potential buyers were coming in to see it and to go over the books. The owner said that we had to look as busy as possible when they came in to make a good impression, so anytime there was extra space in any of the pizza ovens, we just started making cheese pizzas. I was given the cheese pizzas anytime I was making a delivery, and I was told that I needed to just throw them in the dumpster, but I felt really weird about doing that because the town had a lot of homeless people. So
What?
instead, I decided to do a good deed and pass them out to them instead. After the potential buyer had looked through the restaurant, he was being driven back by my boss to his hotel room, and on the way, I guess they saw about 20 homeless people with our very distinct pizza boxes. I don't know what he thought, but he didn't end up buying the place after all, and I lost my job.
Oh shit. I mean, that wasn't bad. She helped out the homeless people though. Cruise ship. All right. Wait, no, I'm getting too into this, into her story. All right, what we got next here? If I swear, if I hear anything about a flute,
Sarah's learning to play the piano.
I'm not that good, but I'm trying really hard to get better.
Well, at the rate she's improving, though, she might be a famous musician by this time next year.
She's exaggerating. I wouldn't want to be famous anyway. Piano for me is just like a hobby, like your knitting or daddy's gardening.
Cutting class. Let's see how.
I skipped study hall and snuck into the school gym. The principal caught me and I got a week's detention. It's really not a very interesting story.
Well, that's not the whole story, is it? You didn't mention why you went to the gym.
Hold on. Well, one for that. Two, whiskey. Chill. Yo, whiskey said he plays the skin flute though. I'm good off you, whiskey.
I was helping to set up a surprise party for the principal. His 25th anniversary at our school was coming up, so we had to do something for him. My study hall teacher knew and gave me permission to skip class, but I couldn't say that without ruining the surprise party. Still feel bad about lying to the principal.
Now, honey, lying is sometimes okay when it's to help the person you're lying to, like when we got you your glasses.
I know, Daddy, but it still feels wrong.
Sarah used to babysit a little girl named Emily. She really looked up to Sarah. She always said she wanted to be just like her when she grew up.
One day, Emily had to get glasses, and she looked really cute, but she hated how they looked. She was super self-conscious about it, and she couldn't even stand to go to school anymore.
That's when Sarah came to me and asked if I could get her vision checked. She figured if she wore glasses too, then Emily wouldn't feel so bad about them anymore.
Daddy took me to get tested, but unfortunately my vision was 20/20.
I've never seen somebody so disappointed to have good vision. That's when I took Sarah to the mall to get her a pair of fake glasses.
Daddy's the best. I started wearing them whenever I was around Emily, and it worked like a charm. She started liking her own glasses almost immediately.
Nah, whiskey. Like, yeah, that's her mom and dad. I'm not gonna lie, they got pretty good actors for this. Because I really can't see that they're. Wait a minute. Her eyes are blue. Her eyes are blue. But both of their eyes are. What is going on here? These are not her parents. yo, these are not her parents. Yo, whiskey just helped me realize something. I don't think these are her parents. Okay, so she captain.
When people get famous, they move to a big city so they can make lots of money. Once they've made all that money, they move to the place they really want to live. I already live in the best place I can imagine, so why would I leave in the first place?
Yeah, somebody definitely lying out this job.
I love volunteering there.
Some of Sarah's best friends are residents there.
She's talking about Harold and Eleanor. I've learned so much from them.
They love having her there too. They tell me all the time.
Walter and I thought we did our fair share of volunteering, but Sarah puts us to shame.
It really shouldn't count as work if it's fun to do.
Alright, back to her.
You can get away with anything as long as someone's attention is focused on something else. That's the key to all of magic, half of life. Everyone knows it, nobody cares. Back when I really was an assistant, I worked for a magician, the great Zambini. He based his signature trick on this very thing. See, we were part of a traveling carnival, and our stage was outdoors. At the beginning of the night, the back of the stage, a Zamboni was parked. It was the Zamboni. And he would tell the audience that at some point during the evening, he was going to make the Zamboni disappear and no one would notice. So about halfway through the evening, we would have this assistant come out that the audience had not yet seen. Her name was Kelly. She was particularly alluring. And the other assistants and I would help her up on top of a platform, and we would begin tying her up with scarves. We'd really take our time about it, make it very erotic, and Kelly would wiggle and pout and make these cute little
Wait, what?
squeaky gerbil noises. While this was happening, Zambini would pull out his keys and drive the Zamboni off stage. Then he'd run back. We would make Kelly disappear in a fairly standard trick, and when it was done, Zambini would be standing where the Zamboni was with his arms outstretched, like he had just accomplished the most amazing feat in the world. And the audience loved it. They would clap like it was the best thing ever.
Zamboni drives a
It was
Zamboni.
grotesquely sexist.
Oh, wait, no, Zambini drives a Zamboni. Okay, so she was part of a traveling carnival.
When you're starting out in this industry, you will take anything you can get. It was rough. I was on the road for 6 months. Before that, I was an assistant to a comedy magician. That was even worse. I'd still take that over any normal job. Oh, comedy magicians. Awful. None of it's real magic. It's all just jokes. I don't have any
Jokes
in the
and jokes
well,
and
I have
spaghetti,
one, but I don't do it
spaghetti.
every night. I just save it for when I have a headache.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her since we worked together. I'm sure she's doing fine. Supremely attractive people have it very easy. I'm sure she married rich or got kidnapped by human traffickers and sold on the black market.
She foul for that.
Either way, she's living in a big house with someone else paying all the bills. She's great. They say human trafficking is a $150 billion a year industry, and I want to know how they know that. Are human traffickers reporting income tax, or are they just making up numbers?
Alright, so my food's almost ready, so I'm calling it a night for the night. But shout out to Gaming with Whiskey, yo. Thank you for coming through. I'm definitely gonna be gaming. I'm definitely gonna be playing more of this tomorrow. I probably say maybe like because I'm working closing shift, so Whiskey is probably gonna be like an hour after this, just in case if you're wondering. Probably like an hour or two after this, like time that we're in right now. But yeah, thank you for coming through and rocking with me, and I'd like to thank y'all for rocking with me. Foster Gamer. With that, catch y'all.